Hey, it's our Realized Math Industry, and we are going to take a look at covalent bonds. So, unlike ionic bonds in the last episode, covalent bonds are a little bit different. If ionic bonds are about metals and nonmetals, well, covalent bonds have to do with two things that come together that are both nonmetals. If you take a look on the periodic table of elements, on this side, from here to here, here to here, and possibly here, are all nonmetals. Like boron's a nonmetal, carbon's a nonmetal, nitrogen's a nonmetal. Mercury is a metal, but it's a different state. Argon's a nonmetal. Helium is definitely a nonmetal. So let's do an example. The most common examples that you would see would be CO2, or carbon dioxide. We're going to learn why we call them carbon dioxide. And the other thing is, another common is the ones you drink, H2O. Right there, hydrogen oxide. It consists of hydrogen and oxygen. But, question, how do we come up with these names in the first place? Well, one thing that we don't want to do is use the crisscross method, because that's only for ionic bonds. Where we get the numbers and the names is a chart called a prefix. So each number has its own name, and that determines what it's called. For example, mono equals 1. Di equals 2. Tri, like a triplane or a triple-decker bus, is 3. Tetra is probably my favorite, and it's 4.
Sympathy.
Penta is going to be 5. Hexa is 6. Hepta is going to be 7. Octa is going to be 8, like an octagon. Nona, that's going to be 9. And deca is going to be 10. So those are going to be the prefixes of how we name things. Like, for example, earlier in the video, we said we had carbon dioxide. And we usually have the prefixes at the end of each of the compounds. Here's an example. If I write carbon dioxide in its full name, the reason why is the prefixes are always the name after what has happened. So CO2. Sometimes we might want to change things too. Sometimes we can put the names in the front and the back too. So why don't we say dicarbon, and we're going to say tetrahydrate. And that is going to be represented as carbon with 2 atoms, and tetrahydrate is going to be H4, hydrogen of 4. This is going to be a special kind of covalent bond, but we're going to talk about that in the next video, so stay tuned. Another thing, what we can do is, let's say if we have dinitrogen tetraoxide, and that is going to represent NQ04. So that is how we name the prefixes. Sometimes if your chemistry teacher is that strict, he'll probably say that if you have things like before oxide in the last letter, then you'll probably only use one of them. We'll talk about that in another video. So that is how we name covalent bonds. And that's what covalent bonds are. Bonds when there are no metals. Covalent bonds are bonds that have no metal in them. Thank you for watching Top in Your Life's Math Industry. Like and subscribe.